Hey Juju, it's Chanel and I'm going to be helping you out with your shoulder issues. I'm going to be doing this in one take, so I'm going to be starting my own time. I'm not going to move anything around. So you were telling me that your shoulders, what was happening is that your shoulders are rounding in like this. You might be slouching, and I can understand that. You do a lot of traveling, you do a lot of camera work as well, so you always find that the shoulders are rolling in, and that might be affecting your mobility. So you might feel tightness in the chest when you're doing a couple of those CrossFit movements. You might find a little bit of instability around the shoulder blades, as again, if you're doing some of your chin-ups, for example, it just doesn't feel right because you're trapped here. So the purpose of this video is that I'm going to show you some of the movements that I know that I will find that through my experience help me with my shoulder mobility, and hopefully will help you with yours. So the first one I want to go with, nice and easy, nice and sitting up nice and tall or standing, right arm across, left arm up, turn that left hand out, right hand meeting the left, and then inhale, lifting the elbows up. So if I go sideways, right arm across, left arm up and over, I'm going to inhale, roll the shoulders out, and lifting the elbows up as high as I can. So what's happening, both shoulders are rolling out, but I'm focusing on that right shoulder, my right shoulder nice and open. I can feel this big stretch across my upper back. My shoulder blades are tucked in. They're not going to be loose here. They're stable. I want to feel that tightness. It's like a little turtle shell. The main thing I focus on the most is that freedom in the side of the neck. You'll notice it as soon as you do it. So the trick to this, lifting the elbows, lifting the chest, lifting the sides of the body. And then when you release, just give your arms a bit of a shake. You'll actually notice that right shoulder is starting to open up. You're starting to mobilize. It's really good. And you just do it on the other side. And hold it for as long as you like. Hold it for about 30 seconds, maybe a minute if you can. For me, I just hold it for about 20-30 seconds, and that's enough for me. Other ways to open the chest. So the problem is shoulders are rolling in. The natural solution, rolling the shoulders out. And I have two movements that can help with that. So, first one, wide-legged forward bend. So feet out, past your shoulders, 1.5 shoulder width apart. Feet nice and parallel, feet nice and flat. Knees over the feet, hips over the knees. You're going to have your hands behind your back, and you're going to be holding onto your palms, like so. So it's palm to palm. You're not going to be loose here, and you're not going to be loose here. Keep it palm to palm. The first part of the movement, inhale, lengthening the spine, opening the chest, shoulders rolling out, squeezing the shoulder blades, and allowing the hands to travel down the hips. So you're going to be here, like so, opening the chest. It's a big stretch, shoulder to shoulder, across the collarbone, running down the center of the chest, into the belly, into the hips. If you push the hips, it becomes a little bit of a back bend as well. Let the hands travel down, so you might be able to see my little thumbs there. And if you can, inhale, exhale, bend your knees, leaning forward, leading with the chest. And the idea is that you're going to bring your hands over your head as best as you can. Again, you're not going to lose that the palm to palm. You're not going to be out here. Keep it nice and strong, palm to palm. If I go this way, the trick here is that I'm not locking out my elbows super tight. They're bent. I'm focusing on squeezing my shoulder blades as much as I can. And my neck nice and long. And yeah. That one for me is actually quite difficult. So there used to be a time where I was able to bring my hands directly over, but because I overdid it, I actually have injured my shoulders. So for myself, I use that with caution. For you, I also give you that caution that you don't overdo it. You're not pulling the shoulder out of its socket. Focus on the squeezing of the shoulder blades, a small bend in the elbows, the palm to palm. It's a sturdy movement. You're not locking out through the joints. It's more to do with the muscles and the folding of the stabilizing of the joints, rather than click, 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 click. Like it's not that. It's like origami. You got to find the right folds to create the right shape, the perfect shape. So that's shoulder opening 1. Shoulder opening 2, you come down to the floor. So sitting up, both hips nice and flat, knees raised, feet flat, hands just beside the hips. And again, roll the shoulders out, elbows rolling in. And what's happening is your palms are flat on the floor, and you're spiraling the forearms out. So you're not just here, you're opening out. So the forearms roll above the elbows, the arm rolls, the shoulder blades tuck in, spine nice and long, chest is open here. So notice the difference. So you're not here, you're out here. From here, breathing in, exhale, pressing into the feet, lifting the hips up, pressing into the hands, lifting the chest up. Your neck, keep your chin tucked in so you're not going to be out here jarring into the neck. Keep everything stable, keep pressing, and again, opening the chest, shoulder to shoulder, squeezing the shoulder blades in, and you're also working the hips as well if you have any lower back issues. Inhale, exhale, coming down. Shake it out. So those are 2 movements I can think of. The last one is my personal favorite. So in my classes, I tell everyone this story when I do this pose. A couple of years back, I hurt my shoulder, this shoulder here, twice doing the same movement. It was the dumbest thing. Oh, it wasn't dumb, but it's just because I lacked confidence. I bailed on the movement and I paid for it with a bad shoulder. So during that time of injury, I wasn't able to lift my arm around here. It really sucked. It really got right underneath the shoulder blade. It was also at that time my shoulder blades weren't already stable as they were until like comparing it from now till then. Back then, I would do my push-ups with my elbows out, my shoulder blades are winging out, and it just created a situation where if I kept going, I would have just grinded my rotator cuff to bits. Like, it would have happened as I got older. It was with this pose that I learnt, that I taught myself, that I've seen from the internet, and that I've applied in my own practice, that has really helped in stabilizing the shoulder joint, strengthening those muscles supporting the shoulder joint, and just creating a strong upper back, and also increasing that range of motion. What you'll find is that after doing all the movements I showed you now, this pose will actually be a little bit more easier. So it's called the dolphin pose. Dolphin pose is essentially the downward dog on the forearms. So on all fours, hips over the knees, knees hip width apart, shoulders over the elbows over the wrists. Spine nice and long, so you're not sinking into the belly, you're not up here. Nice and neutral. First part of the movement, again, roll the shoulders out, elbows rolling in. Then slide the hips back and your forearms come down to the floor. So the main emphasis is the parallel forearms. They're not out to the sides and they're not like this or whatever. Use your shoulders as the guideline. If your elbows are out too far, bring the elbows in line with the shoulders. If your hands are too far in or too far out, in line with the shoulders. Rolling the shoulders out. Again, it's very similar to how you did that little pose there. You're opening the shoulders out, you're stabilizing the upper back, you're creating that nice strong turtle shell. The neck is nice and long, the head is actually quite free. For me, this was the hardest part. It took me about 3 months to get better, like to heal my shoulder. So when I started, I was around here and it was really tight around my shoulders. It happened. But I practiced little by little and eventually I was able to come into this forearm, this parallel forearm position. And then what I can do from here, and what you can do as well, tuck the toes under, hips back, hips up. And you're pushing into the hands, the elbows, pushing the hips back, lifting the hips up. The head is off the floor, neck nice and long. If you're having trouble with the balance with the feet together, walk the feet out to the sides. It does give you a better balance. And then bring the knees down, knees out, hips resting on the heels, just coming up, shake it out. Out of all those movements I showed you, it is the dolphin pose that I have the most highest recommendation. It's almost like a bias. Like if I had to do any sort of shoulder issue, I would prescribe them dolphin pose. That's it. Just because in my experience it has been so good to me, and I want to be able to show everyone the benefits of that pose. As I said, you're increasing that shoulder range of motion. You're working on the stability of the shoulder blade itself. You're also working on strengthening those small muscles supporting the shoulder blade and the upper back. So it's not just a pose, it's a tool. So what I've been telling my students in class, don't think of these poses as poses, think of them as tools. So whenever you have an injury of some sort, you have a set of tools helpful, like already there, to help you build and repair your body. So that's all for now. If you have any other injury or any other questions, please let me know. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope all the poses I showed you will be very helpful in your practice. And I'm very keen to hear from you after practicing this. Let me know how you go. Otherwise, that's it. Have a good day.